I didn't invent the rainy day man. I just own the best umbrella. From the classic, critically acclaimed film Almost Famous, made in 2000, a comedy drama starring Kate Hudson that revolves around sex, drugs, rock and roll, and love. While I'm not a famous rock star celebrity, nor anyone who has any claim to fame, when I first saw the movie in 2012, I remember thinking of my own life, and how my own umbrella wasn't fit for those stormy days that appeared every so often. And come 2020, I found myself once again in rainy day territory, with only a tattered, freshly ripped umbrella as my only protection against the heavy storm. My journey began with a plane ride that was filled with anticipation and nerves, a plane that would take me to my dream destination, Paris. Of course, we started in the United Kingdom, but my real goal was the City of Lights, the City of Dreams. And so there I was, sitting cautiously yet anxious on that plane, surrounded by 100 or so strangers, my broken umbrella hanging lopsided beside me, but still present. I used to be afraid of flying. It would terrify me, putting my life in someone else's hands, trapped on a big machine which held its own risks. But as I grew up, I began realizing that flying, like all forms of transportation, was a freedom. I could go anywhere, see anything, be anyone. It was just a stepping stone to a new world, one which I had so desperately craved after a tumultuous year of wind and rain. Paris at night is a glorious thing. The Eiffel Tower glows, the beam of light from the observer's deck at the very top radiating throughout the city, leading the journey back home. A carousel sits, playing soft music, on the streets besides the monument. Matching the awe of the city, it marks another side of this dreamscape, the childlike wonder of the scene unfolding before your very own eyes as the carousel spins, around and around, in that familiar cycle of nostalgia, warmth, and wonder. Wanderlust, familiarity like a painting, Paris glows. No words can describe the beauty of the streets, especially in the rain, the soft magical feel of the pitter-patter of the droplets gently falling as you walk the narrow corridors of the hidden streets of the city. The Eiffel Tower still lit, but now glowing even brighter in the misty fog, a sight to behold. As I waited for the Eiffel Tower to sparkle in the night, I thought about my umbrella once again, how the journey of my life had taken me to this moment. My umbrella at the start of this adventure wasn't in good shape. It was ragged, torn to shreds, and hanging on by seams. The year before, I had exhausted myself in trying to please others, and it had taken its toll on me and my protective barrier. Being thrust into a situation where I had to interact with individuals who I had just met wasn't feeling me any better. It had made my insecurities come out even more, causing me to isolate myself in my hotel room. But I had also made a resolve to myself, before the trip had even begun, that I would stop letting my fears and doubts getting in the way of what could be an amazing experience. Here I was in the city of my own dreams, letting my head make up fears and insecurities that weren't a reality. So to prepare myself for the last couple of moments, I grabbed some duct tape, took out scissors, and got to work on repairing my umbrella. By the time I was ready to meet the group again, my umbrella wasn't in total compare. Still had holes and tattered strips hanging from it, but it was a start. I forced myself to speak up, to tell the truth of something I had always wanted to do, and make my dream a reality. I held my breath as the clock chimed, marking the top of the hour, and my dream became truth. The tower began to sparkle, the lights gleamed as I stood in awe. I was so close to it, I could almost touch it. I could have cried, my eyes were glistening. With a deep sigh, I closed my eyes, and just thought. I pondered about how grateful I was to be standing there in that moment, a moment which I realized no one could ever take from me. I was there, in Paris, my dream city, surrounded by people just like me, watching a sight that could never be overshown. When I opened my eyes again, the tower was still sparkling, a reminder for me that there was always somewhere that would be shining on. It would never stop its cycle, it would never dim, and it would never fade. That no matter where I was, no matter how torn my umbrella was, and no matter how many times I would have to repair it, I would always be able to go back to that moment where I was standing in my dream city, in front of a magical tower which gave me hope, that nobody, no matter how hard they might try, could take away from me, and that's why Paris will always be in my dreams.